Hey all, so says we're back, and this is the lowest level possible challenge. And we're continuing where we left off. Yes, we're continuing on the same way. Oops, that's very, very loud. I had to put it down to 6 in volume. We're going to continue where we left out outside the gold source area here, and we're probably going to be using then. Right, so 2790, 2100. Okay, so Barrett is actually not the one we should be using here. Oh, he's 24. Okay, so 2790. Okay, so Barrett still needs to be used. Let's get base on him. Circlet. We're only battle for the first battle, so all materia, all materia, all materia, all materia, all materia. Because that's the double growth weapon. And then so restore, contain, comet, barrier, time. Yeah, I'm not using all of the links there. So that's again. Like plus Neo, Alexander, Creatum, Hammer, utan around FFVII, Paracenso, restore, lightning, poison, gravity, fire, ice, earth, revive, Pokemon, Steel, Sense. Go inside again here. Just rest up here. Again, as we did at the ending on the last one. Just pay 50k there. So basically we fought Connor on purpose, of course, obviously, because then you avoid having to take a battle, and then you avoid also spending money and stuff like that, which is really good. And stuff like that. And I believe here what you can actually do, that it isn't a game over though. Sometimes certain things are a game over. For example, like I know that jumping on the train, for example, and not stopping it then just causes the cutscene to happen and stuff like that. But I don't know if the cutscene happens or if you get the game over if you can't even catch the train and whatever, right? So yeah. Okay. Alright, this is actually the only path and stuff that, you know. You can of course enter via the other path, but then if you leave the high wind there, you of course need to run all the way and stuff like that, so yeah. You can of course soft lock yourself if you do it in the whole air skip run and stuff like that. I can imagine how much easier things are going to be when you have like an AI, then you can exactly have the AI just tell you what to do or whatever, you know. Or assume direct control or whatever, you know. I mean, we shouldn't have tranquilized there, but you know. So right, that was all of the all materials, right? Except for one, of course, obviously, so, you know. We did put circles on everyone, yes, we did. Right, because in worst case scenario we cancel both the protecting and the reflecting. Now the interesting thing though about the whole it is a medical attack, the lapis laser. However, the lapis laser, right? So, for example, wearing the fourth bracelet, for example, is very, very good in the fight and stuff that, you know, because, you know, because of certain reasons. Now it's going to be harder, of course, once we do the old solo challenge, but I feel like a lot of solo challenges are just very, very common and stuff like that, but of course it's going to be lowest level possible, like solo challenge and stuff like that. And like Claude is very common, Aerith is pretty common also and stuff like that, but like maybe we could do it with a like really old character, you know. An Aerith challenge would actually be interesting because Aerith would be done once you're done with Temple of Incense pretty much and stuff like that, you know. Unless you do the whole thing, you know. Alright, this is the sweets. Right. So we're gonna have to activate 3 times speed here just to make things easier. Let's activate 2 times speed here. Yeah, I don't think you automatically use cats here, you basically just fail this here. And yeah, which means that you need to buy Ultima basically as material and stuff that, but you don't need to do that, of course, obviously. Yeah, so normally, because the thing is, even if you get to the train, for example, if you jump over, then you actually need to finish the battle, or you just stay in the battle and stuff that this is something you can do as well. So. Yeah, like it is, the train increased time, otherwise you will have to wait for 10 minutes, except the timer the game is actually way faster than like a real world timer or whatever, right? It's something that is funny that actually makes the clock run really slow, or that's not exactly what it was. It's something you can see during a certain run, that you can actually have the clock run like super slow or whatever, right? And it's if you run a certain version of the game or whatever on the PC version, basically the clock. That's more probably like on the original PC release and stuff, that the clock is like super slow. Or whatever, right? So it's impossible to like fail the escape from the main reactor unless you're super dumb and then you like don't say yes for whatever reason. People are like, oh, she looks normal here. Stuff that, like, you know, and stuff that, and then like the fact that there are certain people that can't figure that out, like, and then you wonder like whether there are legitimate people that got stuck that will go back from Fantasy VII. For example, on PC, and then they never finished it because, you know, because they never got out of the reactor, right, you know. because then they wanted like, oh, how did you get out of the act? Because I played it when I was there, you know, and stuff that. The place, you know, and stuff that, and I wonder how they get out of the act. Because, you know, and it's like, okay, like he even tells you like he says something right if you get there without Jesse. He tells something about Jesse, and like how can it be that they never like tried again, or did they try several times and not could figure it out because it's usually talking to Jesse and stuff that, or you know. Yes, it's just the reason for now. So yeah, you can mash here when you're running 3 times speed, but even if we mash now, we're not gonna catch the train. Also, with 3 times speed, you would have to do these 3 times as fast, basically. So, I'm sorry I couldn't catch them. Huh? But you don't even get the cutscene. Oh wow, I don't think... Yeah, we can still get catastrophe here. Does that mean that you have missed out on Ultima forever? Where is the character that has the thing? Because you don't get the whole train destroying the city even. There's something glowing in the well over there. Huh? Wait, so... That's a... Yeah, he says something in the well glowing. Wait, can you just get it then by just inspecting the well then? Wait, so does that mean that Ultima now is like completely... like Ultima is just completely missable? Let's just... up here again. So the fact that this actually just skips the like the train crash even and stuff that, you know, right, it might be of course eventually that the kid gets the thing from there, you know. But because the reason why the train crashes is because you fail to stop it. As long as they drive it, you know, they don't crash into Corel, you know, and stuff that, you know, so. And it's not like that they sell it here, whatever, right? Imagine if it changed what they sold in the shop or whatever, you know. So wait. Okay, and now we can of course, yeah, the music is back again. Yeah, the cannon is still there, which is a bit odd. That's what Condor is ruined, of course, and now we get to do the Ultima weapon fight. Yeah, so we still have 29 elixirs, which are good, of course, obviously. But I'm not even gonna look up in what order to do it, you know, and stuff like that. Careful, you do it. Okay, here I go, watch this. That's very young, the weapons. Alright, I didn't even put the thing. Oh wait, I think I forgot to tranquilize some characters. Or did I? Did I forget to tranquilize everyone? Yes, I did. I mean, this battle doesn't matter anyway, because you don't get anything from this battle, so... Yeah, let's do this all. Take the weakest restore also and put elemental with it. Then barrier time. All restore. All revive. Luck plus. Plus. I completely kind of forgot about that, you know, and stuff like that, you know. Because yeah, getting several like steel materials would also be good, you know, and stuff like that, but that is, you know, depending on certain things, but yeah. The weapon fighting. Yeah, you need to make sure that you're trying to understand that, but yeah, now let's see if the restore thing works actually instead of, you know. I believe it also counts as a physical, by the way, So barrier. Ultima being blind. But it's not at least that's all we need to do in that fight. There's how much less damage he took to proceed with. Yeah, let's get out here so that wheelchair to put turbo inside. Like how the fuck did the doctor survive because he didn't sit run? And the fact that no other party members are helping them there and they're just standing there instead of a secure tank outfit. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how, because you saw there how much Ultima being did in damage, for example. Like there's a risk, for example, that what is it that it's gonna do a lot of damage, so that. But of course, if we set a protect ring ahead of time, then that will help a lot versus the actual boss and stuff that. And it might actually be worth more than the circlet and stuff that for the fight. And I would want to try and avoid using 8PM MP pluses as much as possible, of course, obviously. Now the thing is, I probably shouldn't have gotten the weapon for Barrett, by the way, and stuff that, because I have no idea what party members we will be using or what party members we will have after this section, basically, and stuff that, you know. And keep in mind that after of course, after the whole, after carry armor, you also can fight. You also need to survive the senior MPs and stuff that. Because the save is actually inside the submarine. So after that, the only fight you get is after the submarine, basically, and stuff. That's yeah. We do restart. Yeah, you don't have access to the menu yet, here. And the thing is, a lot of people think that the whole make poisoning is bullshit, but he is actually make poison and stuff that, but he's like trying to piece together the mind and stuff that, you know. Claude is a massive 27 there. Right. Right, and we need to use all materia to restore. What the besters do we have? An MP turbo with contain. I also use all and all barrier time. Ring. Skill, luck plus, magic plus, long range. Let's up steel as well here, and maybe with added cat. That long. I mean, otherwise we could put comment on someone else, but then we're reliant on another party member. Not that if that is the case. But I'm not gonna cook Tifa because we don't know if we're gonna be using Tifa or not. So container temperature means now you cast freeze with 91 there, basically. Lord, you were never there. It was Zack that came. And Claudius, the solely one that was, of course, or the Shina MP that was, you know, that quote unquote was sick in the vehicle and stuff that, you know. Right, because she never sees him talking or whatever, right? Or, you know, I mean, he does actually talk with Tifa when they're outside the reactor. So it's weird that Tifa cannot recognize his voice and stuff like that, you know. And then the well. Because they know that was real, basically, and stuff that they were at the well and stuff that, because, you know, that is something they both have as a memory, and that was like before Hojo and everything and stuff that, you know. And which is also with the whole why Final Fantasy VII has the box art, it has at least in the PAL version, probably the Japanese version too, but it doesn't have it in the US version. But the whole comet looking thing, or basically it's a shooting star, but the section on the box art and stuff that is what it's supposed to be. The shooting star is like promise he made. And stuff that, you know. Yeah, why did he want to join Soldier and stuff that, you know. She wanted her to notice him and stuff like that, you know. So keep in mind that right before Tifa was introduced as a character into the game, at the very start it was that Aerith was actually a mainstay in the party alongside Barrett and stuff that, like Barrett and Aerith were like the first two characters kinda, and also Claude was. But of course the funny thing is with the whole detective guy and stuff, that it was meant to be like a film noir kind of thing, or like a futurist like film noir or whatever, you know, something like that, you know. It was supposed to be like a detective or something like that, you know, and eventually they used some of those ideas for Parasite Eve and stuff that, you know. Except Parasite Eve is Capcom, you know, and stuff that. No, not Capcom actually, it is Square Enix that did Parasite Eve, but yeah. And here, I mean, like if they're gonna do a remake Parasite Eve 1 and 2 or whatever, you know, stuff like that. I think that if they modernize or not modernized, it's wrong to say that, because then it's automatically woke if you say, you know, like, but I think Claude wasn't part of the friend group or whatever, right? And they crossed, you know, the Nibelheim Mountains. In fact, that they managed to cross it back then, you know, maybe there were less enemies or whatever, you know, or kids have really high like dexterity stats so they can use to run away and stuff that, you know. Because you have to think about the whole young Claude stats that never made sense, right? That, okay, like Sephiroth protected him, but like wouldn't Claude be strong if he was a soldier and stuff that, instead of having the stats he has and stuff that, yeah. Also, one thing you can do also, by the way, is that I think you can actually quadramatic gravity as well, I think, on the actual fight and stuff like that. Because you basically need to land the ship right, and then you basically, you what is it, you hold down L1 or R1, I think it is, to make like the ship pivot in a certain way, and then you basically land and you try to like move forward at the same time as you land or something like that. Because if you do it correctly, you can basically get quadramatic without having to have the shock before it and stuff like that, you know. Now obviously Comet and the thing is the only thing that's useful to cast on it. Although, I mean, theoretically, right, you could be allowed to cast, for example, like a powerful summon and stuff like that. Because casting like one summon, for example, like, I wonder why he didn't do that in the video, why he only used single target spells. Of course, you might say that, oh, it's never gonna be strong enough, or whatever, you know. But of course, we should probably also have someone with a curse ring, though, to be honest, you know, and stuff like that, yeah. But yeah, we will probably also set up maybe Comet on someone else. Stuff like that instead, so that Claude is the one that uses the contain and stuff that, you know. China is actually kind of a wasted slot there, though. but I'm still using it. So. And then they blame Claude for taking her there and stuff that instead that it was like Tifa's own decision and stuff that, and all the boys went with her, but then everything got blamed on Claude, that this was Claude's fault and stuff that, you know. It was in the Come of Soul days. But that actually was proof, the fact that Claude was actually very tough and stuff that, you know, that Claude did not end up in a coma at all and stuff that, you know, so he had the toughness to actually be a soldier. But actually the reason why he doesn't become a soldier is of course because of the fact that you had exceptional characters like Sephiroth, like Genesis, Angel, you know, Zack and stuff that became like soldier and stuff that, you know. But the weird thing is, like, why didn't he even make it into like third class? Why was it that he didn't study or whatever, or that he wasn't smart enough? And I wonder theoretically if there are like Sinra NPS that have actually become like soldier afterwards, you know. Nibelheim reactor. And because the fact that he could remember that means, of course, that he saw it happen and stuff. That the fact that he saw like her getting stabbed like that. Because Zack went in first, and Zack didn't, of course, care about Tifa laying there. Like he didn't like move Tifa or whatever, right? It was actually Claude that did that. You know? Because he was the guy guarding outside, but how the heck did he allow then Tifa to like sneak in and stuff that, you know? Right, and he did it afterwards. Like first he went to stop Sephiroth with the sword, of course, and he managed to ambush Sephiroth because Sephiroth didn't know who Claude was. Really, Claude was like completely almost anonymous and stuff that too. Which is still weird because they had like conversations actually in the vehicle itself and stuff that, like, you know. And then he takes off the helmet. Yeah, because that's why he survived the fall and the other one died basically and stuff that, you know. But then why did he allow her to pass so she could get stabbed like that? Never made any sense. Like, because he must have done sneak past Claude and stuff that, you know. Even though he was supposed to guard, you know, and stuff that, so yeah. Right, and I'm guessing that he's the guy that's supposed to be nervous in town, and the reason why he's nervous is not because of the enemies, but he is nervous because of Sephiroth and stuff like that, you know. And that's why he wore the mask, of course, because there is nothing like, oh, you have to wear the helmet and stuff like that. That is not a thing and stuff that they have to. So when I saw Tifa there, he was basically now a little bit my next. But then why was he sitting like that? If you would have just stand there and look at them, you would have actually seen Claude without the helmet and stuff that, you know. Yeah, so it's the guard on the right. He is not supposed to know what's going on. because when everything was burned down, he was already outside the house. Meaning that it was actually his mother that actually saved Claude's life there and stuff that and got him outside, you know. It wasn't like the martial arts guy. He managed to stab Separate with the Buster Sword, of course. Claude shouldn't really be doing a lot of damage, but it's like plot reasons and stuff that, you know. Maybe it was just because Separate didn't have his like guard up or whatever, right? So Separate took like a lot of damage, you know. Separate was left at 1 HP. And that's of course part of, I think that's supposed to be the head of, you know, what that he took basically, and stuff that, you know. And that is the actual, that is not the part that quote unquote they recovered, that the Shinra recovered, even though they say that, oh, it has a head, the one in the Shinra reactor. I think it's this one that actually ends up with Separate, like the Notocrate and stuff, that's the Unova, you know, that becomes the Unova Absolute or Synthesis or whatever it's called. I mean, the song is called Unova Absolute, but it's called Unova Synthesis. But then he's shocked because stabbing get over with the Passamuna. Right, and he got sucked down, of course, because they're pumping Mako, so he got sucked under basically and stuff like that. And he ended up in the live stream. And of course, he learned to actually control the live stream and stuff like that and do evil stuff with it. But the question is, like, why did he end up in the Northern Crate? Like, why didn't he end up, like, in Medela and stuff that, like, you know, with Claude ends up, you know, and stuff that, so yeah. And how did he survive not getting Mako poisoned? But, or maybe he's immune to it or something like that. And of course, so the only boss fights that theoretically is left is you have the carry armor, then you have the rude fight or rude fight in Rocket Town, and then after that fight, there's Nova Turks fight if you do the thing correctly. It's basically, I think it's like you hold to the. I need to look up Black before we do it, but by the way, just how to do it basically and stuff like that. But this is just going to be one like extra recording and stuff that like I'm not going to, you know, I'm not going to record too much because I want to play the other game that or the game that I got yesterday and stuff. That's it. I don't know what it is with Gran Turismo crashing. There was like the one Gran Turismo crash when like my console completely like froze or whatever, right? So I had to pull out the cable from the thing because even the power button doesn't work. But I think that there is a combination that you need to hold down to actually turn off the power when you're using the button or whatever, you know. It's so cool because this is the only time you see me being that zoomed in and stuff. That's yeah. Oh, snap out of it. Yeah, operations room. They're actually supposed to be using that and be basically like doing their planning, what they're planning to do and stuff. That's yeah, you know. But I hope to make the airship absolutely massive and stuff that, or maybe that you can invest into the airship and stuff that, you know, make upgrades for it. You know, like, oh, this can make it faster, or this can do this and stuff that, you know. And maybe I even add shops to it, and stuff that, like, oh hey, we can, like... Psst, psst, psst. Meow. Right. Right, and just use it to throw them in. Because we need to de-equip the circlet, of course, obviously. And we're on the hunt for the huge material. Remove circle, we give him out of a bangle, remove that circle as well. His belt is 23, he's 24. Just like found that that's another circlet. Okay, so 23, so we need Barrett at least. And who is the lowest? 2,354. 2,570, 2,490, so he's the furthest away. She's actually the furthest away by far. Yeah. She's the furthest away to gain a level. I just got the lowest. Fort bracelet, circlet. But then technically don't need enemies for leaders, so it's first. Area restore. Restore course. And on together with revive, I guess. And combat together with these using magic plasma and range and Laplace. Let's just cover your farm for counter attack and triple sense here. Morph, manipulate. Because there's not much point in like lowering their health too much and stuff that, you know. Even though we can get more magic by equipping like stuff like this, stuff that, but I would also reduce the health. Right, and Barrett, you're gonna go all. You can go all and restore. sense. And maybe you slap on fire, you slap on ice, you slap on earth, you slap on lightning, poison, gravity, nothing is cursor in here. I think that's gonna be good enough. So slap an enemy skill on her. Slap an enemy skill on Barrett. Cheers guys, den här skulle bli en solid bazooka så det ended up actually working out here. Arc source, magic source. So Claude with info magic attack, or with 105 magic attack. And him with 88. So that should show you how powerful low fort race it is, so that. Okay, so now actually we can afford that now actually if we do. But go back inside. Right, you can also talk to, like you can talk to several windows here actually, most of that. Right, so that's just basic items on that one, but I'm gonna show you here that there are several windows that you can use here. And this is the accessories or material shop there, that's just basic material there. She also has materia here, so she has the rings again. Oh, actually, yeah, she doesn't have materia. Yeah, so yeah, get another wizard bracelet here. So Barrett with 108 magic attack. Of course that is because they're using circlet, of course if Claude was using circlet for example, Claude would get 137 magic attack. We are using protecting on him to set up the barrier and stuff like that, so you know. And I feel like it's actually very, very good to actually sell the actual other ones here. Fire Armlet Boom, or Armlet Boom. We might be getting some more 8-slot weapons by the way if we really need to. Okay, so we have Mr. Bracelet on 2 characters. We have 4 basically, and we have an extra as well. So Kidman, of course, is that depending on, of course, what characters we need, that is gonna decide a few things, right? Because we could have, of course, instead of getting the Wizard Bracelet, we could have gotten right, another Tranquilizer here. Yeah, the main problem is the fact that Darkest Slaves actually do a ton of damage, which is normally why we would want to have like 8 plus and stuff that, you know. Okay. Yeah. Get second the train. I want the music, please. Music, please. Okay, that's weird. Sometimes the music doesn't want to work at all. If you really wonder, is this something to do with the code being Yankee or whatever? Because I don't remember it happening like in the original version, like the music like cutting out most of that. Maybe that was always a bug that could happen, right? I know it can happen in the PC version and stuff like that. But like all of the later versions have like the whole bug and stuff that it's, you know, it's good. Letting this theoretically the closest save. Right, so that's gonna do it. Stuff that, so yeah, you can see there dates 24, 24, 24 there, and all of them of course will be something. And keep in mind that I'm not gonna like switch out between like every single battle and stuff here and stuff, right? Because the first time I'm gonna switch out like this when they basically in this on this based and stuff that if they are high level and stuff that, so that's the first time. Yeah, så det ska bli en extra video today probably. Although I will probably not upload it immediately because I'm going to sign up breakfast about 7 or 8 so that's fine. Hope you all enjoy this and I'll see you all next time.